Hey everyone, welcome again to another episode of Real Think Vlog. My name is Andrew Sparks, and as always, I'm here to share with you different philosophers and philosophies from all sorts of times and places to show how philosophy and wisdom can speak to you and I right here, right now, in the modern age, and how there's kind of a timeless classic wisdom that we can all benefit from. And I'm very passionate about it, and so I just want to share that with others, and so that's the whole point of this vlog. And like many of the episodes I've done so far, I'm going to revisit a series of letters by Seneca, who was an ancient Roman philosopher. And the collection of letters is called On the Shortness of Life, and the subtitle is Life is Long When You Know How to Use It. So I've done several episodes already on the first 2 out of 3 letters in this book, and so I'm going to go into the final letter today, which is a letter in response to Serenus, which is a friend of Seneca's. And Serenus basically says, I know what I want to do, and I know what I'm supposed to do. And he says, essentially, I'm trying to be a good person. I'm trying not to be flashy or pompous. I'm not trying to make others envious of my lifestyle. I'm not trying to show off my wealth or anything like that. But when I look everywhere else, I'm seeing all sorts of incredible displays of wealth, things that appear to make people happy, and yet I am steering myself away from it. And so this is Serenus talking. Essentially, he feels a little bit uneasy and a little bit unsure about the path that he has chosen in life, which he thinks is the virtuous life, where he lives pretty modestly and focuses on trying to make himself a good person and a person of character. So that's Serenus's problem, and he says, look, I realize that life isn't going to be easy, but I'm still having this weird turbulence in my mind that I'm having a hard time getting over. And he's writing all this in a letter to Seneca, and he's asking Seneca for help. And Seneca writes back and he says, Serenus, look, you're doing a really great job. Essentially what you're going through is you're dealing with a similar situation as someone who was very sick, and now they're better, and now they think that every little cough or sneeze is the first sign of a really great illness, when in fact it could just be a cough or a sneeze. So I don't know if any of you have experienced that, but say you get over a really bad flu, and then a week or 2 later you cough or you sneeze, and you're like, oh, I really hope that's not another flu. So Seneca is basically saying, look, don't be afraid of living the type of life that you want to live. And he says, sure, there's going to be all sorts of other people that are going to tell you to do things differently, or they themselves are doing things differently, but stay true to yourself. And Seneca says to his friend Serenus, what you should be looking for, and what you are looking for, is tranquility. And tranquility is kind of a difficult concept because I think it's something that's very hard to achieve, and it doesn't matter if you're living in ancient Rome or nowadays. There's always this sense of missing out, this fear of missing out, which I think is what Serenus is really talking about. And he's like, look, I'm trying to do the best I can, but how do I know that I'm on the right track? And this particular letter between Serenus and Seneca was actually kind of hard for me to tease apart, but I took a look at Seneca's reply, and I think I boiled it down to a good couple of action items that you can kind of take away from this. So I'm going to do the best I can. I won't be surprised if I decide to do another episode on this because it is so densely packed with some really great information. But basically, Seneca says the way to achieve tranquility is to stay focused. And what's cool with this is no matter what your goal is, as long as you stay focused on it, you are less likely to experience turbulence or to experience fear of missing out because you know that what you want to achieve is worth it to you. So, just an example off the top of my head, there's some really incredible people, maybe like Adele, who's incredibly young, and she's achieved so much already because she has stayed focused and just has not let anything deter from her goal of becoming an excellent singer. And so she has that focus, and so when times are tough, she has, I assume, a good amount of tranquility. Maybe her friends are going out and they're all going out for beers, and she says, that would be awesome, but I have a show tomorrow, so like I really need to stay focused. And it can be tough in the short term, but in the long term, I imagine that there's a sense of tranquility that allows her to do amazing things that we're all seeing her do. So Seneca says that tranquility is essentially a type of confidence. It's just the confidence in yourself that you're on the right track. So there are probably around 30 to 40 pages within this particular letter that Seneca writes back to Serenus. He starts off by saying, hey, you're looking for tranquility, be confident, but then to just reduce things down a lot more to kind of give you the overall themes of what Seneca was saying. I think what Seneca is going for here is saying, be happy with yourself first and foremost, because there are a lot of people who, I think we've all experienced them, they can't hold a job, or maybe it's someone who goes from a relationship to relationship and is kind of looking for happiness to come to them from the outside, when really I think the key is to find happiness within yourself. And tons of people are happy with themselves from all walks of life. It's not really a matter of money, but rather a matter of kind of attitude and character and belief. So I think that's something that each of us can learn to apply no matter where we're at in our lives. And then to take that a step further and to be a tranquil person, we take that happiness with ourselves and we begin to express it by seeking happiness in our relationships with others and seeking to bring that happiness through an impactful life where we stay true to ourselves. And by having that confidence in ourselves, we're able to share that with others through the work that we do. Maybe it's through volunteer work, maybe through it's a type of career that you're interested in. But I think the key is to build a firm foundation by being happy with yourself, and then from there, just take that tranquility and that happiness and live a happy life outside of yourself, out in the world. So, I feel a little bit dissatisfied, interestingly, in providing that information or providing that feedback, because it's a very kind of difficult concept to grasp. And I think that's probably why I was wrestling so much with this particular letter. It's kind of very heady, where it's all kind of abstract, and you're trying to solve problems here and now, but first you have to kind of work through things internally, which can be kind of vague or difficult to grasp. So I guess I would encourage you to take this as a start. Maybe just start thinking about these things in your day-to-day life and say, am I happy with myself? Yes, no. How can I be more happy with myself? And then once I achieve that happiness, or as I'm working towards that happiness, how can I share that with others? And I definitely think it's a virtuous cycle. Once you start being and acting more happy, you'll start attracting more positive energy towards yourself. I think that's just the way that the human psyche works and human society works. So I think that's what Seneca is going for here when he's talking with his friend Serenus. So I'll dig a little bit deeper. Maybe next week or in the next couple of weeks I'll do a final episode on Seneca and maybe go dig into this a little bit deeper. But until then, live a happy life. Think about what happiness means for you, and realize that it's a very important conversation to have with yourself. So thanks again. This is Andrew Sparks with another episode of Real Think Vlog. Take care.